Caroline is the Marketing and Economic Development Director and the Public Information Officer at UDAF. And she's going to be going over some current happenings at UDAF, the local food system study that's ongoing, some other resources, agritourism. But again, if you have any other questions about the food business stuff, please let us know. While Caroline's getting ready, we can get those answered. Otherwise, I will hand it off to you, Caroline.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for the introduction, Karen. Really excited about this conference. I think it's such a great opportunity to reach people, not just across the state, but the region. To start, I'd love just to share a little bit about what our department does. I think a lot of people think about UDAF, the Utah Department of Agriculture and Food, as a regulatory body or someone that you only contact when you need to get a license or pay for a permit or things of that nature. But our real intent is to help ag and food grow. We do that through a variety of support services. We also have a handful of conservation initiatives, and everything we do is a balance of promoting agriculture and helping that thrive while protecting public health, ensuring an equitable marketplace, and facilitating commerce. You know, a lot of people think of us just as the Department of Ag, but we have a lot of divisions that go much beyond that. My division, Marketing and Economic Development, I love what we do. Like, in short, like, we promote local ag products, we support the growth of local ag and food businesses, and then we try to help those businesses increase market access. Some of these pictures down below, like up at the Capitol with a few hundred kindergartners for Apple Crunch Day, a few of our grant recipients down in the bottom right. I feel really strongly that it's both meaningful work and that a lot of people are completely unaware of what we do and everything we have to offer. So excited to share more. Some of the programs within our division that are more market development oriented are Utah's Own. Towards the end of my presentation, our Utah's Own program manager, Emily Ashby, is going to come by and introduce herself. We also have a newer agritourism program. We've been really excited about that. We also support businesses with international trade. We have access to some federal funding through a partnership called WUSADA. That's the Western United States Agricultural Trade Association. So even if you don't feel like you're ready to export, that funding can also help with domestic trade shows. A lot of people know about Fancy Food or Expo West. We can help subsidize your booth fees for that. As long as there's at least one international buyer. If you're interested in doing marketing or like research in international markets, really encourage you to get in touch with our team. And then Farm to School is also relatively new within the last couple of years at our department. And same thing, like, there's no farm or food business too big or too small to benefit from these programs. Some are a better fit for some types of businesses than others. But whatever size you are, we have programs that can help. With Farm to School, we recognize how complicated the procurement process can be, and we work really closely in partnership with staff at the State Board of Education to help guide producers through that process, get them the information they need to make it onto those contracting steps. We also have a handful of grant programs in my division and beyond at the department. The ones in our division are the Specialty Crop Block Grant, which is open now, the Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Program, and the Utah Food Security Processing Grant. One of the things that I wanted to share about today was an update on our local food system study. During last year's legislative session, Representative Daley Provo put forth a bill to direct our department to conduct a study. It was really broad. It covers everything from local food availability and supply chain gaps, economic viability of farms and food businesses, including different transition plans like switching crop types. There's always a lot of questions about how do we make the most of water use when it comes to agriculture, workforce issues and barriers to entry into agriculture, any barriers like regulatory requirements or other institutional challenges. So we've hired a consultant called New Ventures Advisors. I've been so grateful to work with them. Their team has been wonderful, and one of the researchers on there is actually from Utah and used to work in food systems at the Department of Health and Human Services. So we're doing statewide data and economic analysis. We've gotten survey responses from over 200 individuals. We've hosted 6 listening sessions, 22 stakeholder interviews, and we've been hosting regular advisory committee meetings. So this this project is set to wrap up in April, so just a couple months away. We've completed these steps, and then we're continuing strategy workshops to so we've identified the problems and opportunities. Now what strategies make sense to implement in our state to help with these things? Overall, it's identified a lot of things that we've been hearing directly from producers and food businesses all along. Utah has both significant gaps in the food supply chain and opportunities. Some of the things we want to do going forward: how can we help businesses expand into wholesale and institutional sales? A lot of people are doing direct to consumer, and we want to help them continue to do that well, but how can we help them grow? We want to continue to address storage, processing, aggregation, and distribution gaps, and also increase in-state production. Farm continuity and workforce problems are challenging. Finding our role and where we fit with workforce development, what support is needed, continuing to support conservation easements. Those are a few of the things on our horizon. And lastly, simpler access and funding designed for farms. We hear you that grant applications can be complicated. We hear you that the timelines don't often align well with your operations needs. And we're going to do what we can to address those things. And this last sentence is what I really wanted to emphasize. Coordinated investments can significantly grow local food production and availability. So for the next large chunk of my presentation, I'm going to go through really rapid fire with a handful of department grants that are open now and want those to be on your radar. But if everyone could just take a moment to pull out your phone right now, you can't take advantage of grant opportunities if you don't know about them. And the best way to know about them is to stay informed. I don't think it's realistic to expect someone to check our website every couple of business days, but if you want to, we appreciate the clicks. On the left, we're actually rebuilding our ad website that will be launching in about 2 weeks. So here's a sneak peek of what that will look like. Trying to make it more user-friendly and oriented towards what people are trying to accomplish. But you can find all of our open grant information at ag.utah.gov/grants. Our social media manager, she does such an excellent job. I feel like she presents the information in a really engaging way. So encourage you to follow us on Instagram and on Facebook to stay up to date. And we also issue a newsletter about once a month, sometimes twice if there's a lot of open opportunities. So you can find links to each of those below. And I'm not the expert in all of these grants, so I'm just going to give a quick overview and encourage you to contact our department. One of the biggest things I can emphasize is we're here to help. We don't want anyone poking around websites, just blind, uncertain on how they can best be successful. And everyone who works at the department, they love what they do. The best part of our day is actually getting to work with the people we're trying to help take advantage of these programs. So please don't be shy. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone or send an email if you'd like to know more. The Agricultural Water Optimization Program is one that many people have heard of over the last few years. We've received hundreds of millions of dollars in funding to help farmers improve their efficiency. So this has gone to both on-farm projects and to canal and irrigation companies to help producers improve their water efficiency. You can find the application link there. There's also a really cool dashboard. We've started to get some really great information on live reporting from the first few years of projects. So encourage you to poke around. Our specialty crop block grant is open now through March 8th. The intent of this grant is to help the specialty crop industry as a whole, so fruits, vegetables, nuts, floriculture. One thing to note with this grant is it's intended to support the industry as a whole, so projects need to show how they're benefiting more than one producer or the industry broadly. We've really worked to amp up the number of applicants we get for these and to diversify and have it go both to educational institutions and, co-op and commodity groups, but also directly to producers. So encourage you to apply. With most of these grants, I do want to remind people that they're competitive. So if you apply and you're not awarded funds the first time, please apply again. Don't feel defeated by that, or get in touch and see how we can help you through that process. Another open grant is our ISM grant. That's the Invasive Species Mitigation Weed Control Grant. This one's administered by our Plant Industry Division. Most of the projects go to organizations like cooperative weed management boards. Private landowners are eligible, but the intent is really to address severe noxious weeds issues and make the greatest impact possible. So that one's open now. Our pollinator habitat program will be opening the 1st of March. I would love if every single person took a moment to bookmark this or take a picture of it on your phone. Every single person in this meeting should apply for it. If you are based in Utah, you can be awarded native plant kits and seed mixes. It has been so fun seeing the support for this program. I think we get, aside from cottage foods, we get more clicks on our website about this program than any other initiative. And sorry, I'm getting a little bit hoarse because I'm excited talking about these. But it's easy to apply for. Liz, who's the program manager, is super passionate and loves what she does. If you have any questions, this has been a fun one where even just visiting friends or properties across the state, I'll see little Utah pollinator habitat protection signs. It's probably one of our easiest grants to apply for. And it's making a difference to support native bee populations and habitat. Conservation easements, it's been interesting hearing how many people have brought that up as a solution for conserving agricultural land throughout our food system study. We have a program called the Leary McAllister Working Farm and Ranch Fund that helps support funding for conservation easements. So I encourage you to reach out to that program. We work with organizations like Utah Open Lands and other land trusts to help producers put their properties into conservation easements so they remain in agricultural production in perpetuity. One thing to note is the land is still yours. Like you still have the ability to do what you want to do on that land. A lot of people are turned off at the idea of it if they're not familiar with the process, but we're here to be a partner. I see that the link needs to be updated, so I'll do that before I send it over to the USU team. Our Grazing Improvement Program is one that takes rolling applications. They provide grant funding for all sorts of rangeland improvement projects. This can be things like virtual fencing, physical fencing, reseeding efforts, removing invasive species, any kind of grazing management project. This has been a beloved program for decades now and is another one where they have over a dozen boots on the ground staff to help both apply for these projects and implement them. So encourage you to reach out to that team if you do any kind of grazing, whether that's on public or private land. They also have a predation program and a small livestock producer program. Another thing that our department does that people might not be aware of is succession planning resources. So Jeremy, who oversees that Lee Ray McAllister Working Farm and Ranch Fund, he also hosts succession planning workshops. So we have a handful of those on the docket, but just know that that's something that our department's able to help with, and we partner with other organizations on that as well. We also have an agricultural mediation program. Our executive office can help provide like neutral voluntary mediation services to help get ahead of legal issues before they really become big. That's one that I feel like is one of our most underutilized programs throughout the whole department. The Utah Food Security Grant is within my division. I cannot overstate how proud I am of this program and what it's accomplished in 4 years. So we've been really grateful and lucky to be able to get 4 separate one-time appropriations of $1 million for this program. We'd love to make it a forever program, so that's something we're continuing to work on. But in short, this program provides grant funding to help the supply chain. So we help producers get processing equipment, distribution, maybe you need a refrigerated truck to expand your markets. We can help with storage. Some of the stuff is as simple as like a sausage stuffer machine or potato washing and bagging equipment, sometimes even just plastic totes so that you're not having to rebuy cardboard containers and your product gets, squished over time. So like really simple purchases can make such a meaningful difference for these food businesses. Over the last 4 years, we've awarded 89 projects across 23 counties. We've only had $4 million available, and we've received, just shy of $50 million in requests. So again, these programs are competitive, and we want to help you make your applications as successful as possible. We are really, really optimistic, knock on wood, to get a significant amount of funding for this program. That will depend on how the legislative session plays out. So hopefully in a few weeks, we'll have an exciting announcement. If this funding comes through, that would be in partnership with DHHS and some federal funding through the Rural Health Transformation Program. We are not sure yet if this will require a UEI, which is a unique entity ID number. That number is needed anytime you do business with the federal government. So one thing I can't emphasize enough is get your UEI number. Usually they are simple, but if you wait till the last minute, as I often do, that's when something's going to go wrong. Once you have it, it's yours, it's in your pocket, and you're ready. So take a minute now and set yourself up to be ready for this funding when it comes open. Another thing we're excited about that's still somewhat tentative is expanding what's eligible for this program. So previously it's been very like mid-supply chain oriented, so helping with those like processing and distribution and storage challenges. But we're hopeful that this funding for the next round can also help with production expenses. So we want to help people grow more food, we want to help people process more food here, and we want to help that food be more accessible to Utah consumers. So please reach out and keep an eye out for updates on that. A couple of years ago, just feels like longer, a year and a half ago, we launched our Utah Agritourism program. We recognize that agritourism is an emerging industry. Something we've heard again and again is that having an element of agritourism is what allows farms to stay in operation, whether you're a beginning entrepreneur or a multi-generational farm. For our purposes, we consider agritourism to be any on-farm activity. So that could be something like a you-pick flower patch, pumpkin patches, baby animal days types of things. If you have an on-farm farm store, if you host any kind of workshop or farm tour, really encourage you to apply for this program. It's completely free. Adriana, who also does our social media for the department, she runs this program and features different farms on our social media account and in the newsletter. We have a directory. Right now, we have about 64 farms across the state who've registered, but we would love to see every single business that's doing an on-farm activity be part of this program. It's something we're hoping to grow in the coming years. We've been really excited about our partnership with the Office of Tourism. They have such amazing resources and put together such incredible events. They have also recognized the importance of agritourism when it comes to ag and rural economies. In April, they're hosting the 2026 Tourism Business Development Workshop. It's completely free. They've gotten some grant funding to put this together, but this will likely be the last year that agritourism is a main priority, and also the last year that it'll be free. So if you're able to head down to Kanab towards late April, we're super excited about this. Last year was the first time that they did this, and I was really blown away by the diversity of speakers they've lined up. One thing that they're encouraging farms to do is become film ready. I feel like that's something that people don't talk about or think of very often, but it's an exciting new revenue opportunity for their business. I'd love to turn the time over to Emily Ashby, who is our Utah Zone Program Manager. She's just behind me and is going to hop in, and you can learn more about the program.
We would love to turn the time over. Hi, I'm Emily Ashby, and I'm the Program Manager of Utah Zone. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the program. For those of you that may not know, I think something that I do like to just point out is we are a program of the Department of Agriculture. And so we're not a nonprofit or for-profit. We are a state-run program. So with that, we have some really great resources that are available to you. And the mission of Utah Zone is really just to support Utah's agriculture, food, and Utah source businesses. So we are one of 40 state-branded programs across the United States. So if you're from Colorado, you may recognize the program there as Colorado Proud or Idaho Preferred. And here are a few of our members, and they range from just starting up HB 181. We do have several HB 181 or cottage food members, all the way up to big corporations like Lehigh Mills and others like that. So wherever you are in your food and ag journey, if you're looking for some marketing and some business support, that's kind of the avenue that you could come through Utah Zone. How many minutes do I have, Caroline?
10-ish.
Oh,
you got time.
Slow down. Just kidding. If you have any questions, feel free to hop on. Some of the benefits of membership. Are there any Utah Zone members? Can we interact with our? Okay, maybe not. But if you're a Utah Zone member, hopefully you've seen the value and benefits of the program. I've been in this position for about a year and a half, and so it's been really great to see kind of how the different benefits for the different types of businesses. But one of the main benefits that we have is you do get a profile page that's personalized to your business in our online directory, and we get nearly 500,000 hits annually. And because we're attached to the Department of Agriculture, and that SEO is pretty great, actually. We are able to come up in a lot of search results when people are looking for local products, and we've had members talk about how they were found through our website. One member had her biggest sales avenue through the website, somebody just searching for some local body care products that were Utah sourced. So that website directory is pretty helpful, and along with that, on our website we also have a gift guide, and so it's just making it easier for consumers to connect with the local products. Another benefit is that you'll be able to get the use of using the Utah Zone logo on packaging, websites, storefronts, and anywhere else that you are trying to market your product as a Utah product. And I kind of gave an example here. Some of our members use stickers. Some of them put, like on Chad's Bear Lake raspberry jam and syrup, they put the logo right on their label. And now if you notice the label, you'll probably start to see it in the stores. It's actually really great. Some of the feedback that I have gotten, especially from small producers at farmers markets, is that they really like to put the logo on their boxes, because now there's quite a bit of, I don't know quite a bit, but there is a good amount of agriculture coming in from other states. And I feel like consumers are getting more savvy, but as I've been around throughout the state, and that is something that producers appreciate, is being able to differentiate themselves as being local apples or local peaches or whatever it is they're producing. Did somebody have a chat? Are we supposed to check this? Nope, maybe not. Okay, just checking. Making sure I'm not missing anything. This little pop-up just came. Oh no. And now, oh, Caroline, maybe. Oh no! Hold on, go back. Found it. Okay, I'm in. Thanks. So yeah, the use of the logo. Something else that's a benefit is we do have a newsletter that goes out to over 4,000 consumers who are interested in connecting with local products. We do product features on social media and in the newsletter. Our Instagram following just keeps growing. We have over 22,000 followers. So you get some good traction there, and every business is guaranteed to at least be featured in an email newsletter or on social media at least once a year. If not more, usually. We also have some really great retail opportunities if that's something that you're interested in. We last year had our first Utah Zone Spring Market down in Pleasant Grove at Oliver's Place. And some of you may know that area is Hee Haw Farms, but they're right on that main road in Pleasant Grove, and they just also have a farm market. And so our vendors, it was a purely Utah Zone member market that we had. This year we're really excited because we're adding, there's going to be a Highland calf that will be there to attract some attention. And then also we're going to have a butterfly release. One of our members actually in Draper has a butterfly business. And so we'll be getting butterflies. I guess they come in envelopes, and each envelope has 10 butterflies, and we'll be giving out for the first 50 people that come to the market. We'll get envelopes, and at noon we'll let 500 butterflies go into the air. So we're kind of excited about that. And then those applications will open shortly. We're just finishing up some contracts, just some paperwork, and then those applications are going to be opening. And so if you're interested in being a part of that market, I'd encourage you to apply to Utah Zone. And I'll talk about the criteria to become a member, but we'd love to have you be a part of that. Another benefit is the Associated Foods Stores Trade Show, and that is once a year, and it's at the Salt Palace, and we get 12 free booths that we pass on to our members, and it's a $2,500 value. So basically, they just have a local section for us, and I think it's Wyoming and Idaho, and you can go, and the brokers from many Associated Food stores, well, most of them will come, and they will pick up products to put into their store. So that's another benefit of being a Utah Zone member that I think we kind of don't really talk about as much, but can be really impactful. The members that have gone, that went last year, one especially, it's called Just Add Love, and they have a spice, they're in the shape of a heart, and it's a spice pack that you put into a crock pot that flavors for tacos and different flavorings. And through that conference, they really took off and were able to get into a lot of stores and grow their business. So we're really excited about that for them. We also offer business training. We do marketing workshops. We collaborate a lot with other businesses. In fact, at the end of the month, it is the end of the month, the 25th, next week, Wednesday, we are going to have a Utah Zone event that's open to the public, so you're welcome to join. And it will be a business panel of just local business, free business resources that will be coming to just tell us about who they are, what they do, and what they can offer you. Some of the people that will be coming are people from like GOEO, the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity, the Women's Business Center. We have representatives from USU coming to talk about e-commerce. A lot of resources that when I had my own business, I wasn't even aware of. And so I've kind of tried to bring those players together, stakeholders in this space, to be able to just introduce themselves and connect with small businesses. So if you're interested in that, we can get you more information, but I'd love to have you join us. That's virtual next week, next Wednesday at noon. And then we also do networking events and member appreciation events and other events to help connect you with other brokers that get into grocery stores. We do have a few members that are small scale brokers that are able to connect. Even our Utah Zone Market, the owner of Oliver's Place also has a market there and has picked up products, a lot of Utah Zone products. She really likes to feature the Utah Zone products, and that has come through being a member, but also members meeting her at these events as well. And we have several of those, like Rolly's Red Barn and some others throughout the state. So to become a member, I know you're dying to know how to become a member. Here we go. You need to be headquartered or incorporated in Utah. You need to have an active business license and pay an annual membership fee, which is $100. And then you pay that like it says annually. And then you need to meet one or more of the following criteria. You need to grow, raise, produce, prepare, or manufacture food in Utah, or manufacture another good made from Utah-grown agriculture products. For example, wool socks, wool from sheep, goat's milk soap, or nursery products. And that's all that I have. Feel free to go ahead and use those QR codes if you'd like to look at our member directory or join our newsletter or become a member. We'd love to have you join us. We definitely are always looking for more produce and the local ag piece. We also, I'll mention that we do work with the farmers markets throughout the state, and so we do sponsorships, marketing sponsorships. And so if you know of a farmers market or you're attending a farmers market, encourage them to apply for that. That'll be opening in the next month. And we'd love to support our Utah Zone members through that, and also support farmers markets throughout the state to get the word out and be able to bring more people to buy your agricultural products. So that's all I've got. Think it's time. So appreciate it. Thanks for all you do for the local food and ag industries. And if you have any questions, just let us know.
That's great. Thank you. No, that was great.
Okay.
So we have a couple of minutes left before the next discussion. Really excited about that. We'll be hearing from a panel of local producers about their own experiences with grants a little bit closer to 3 o'clock. But if anyone has any questions, I know we went through all of that really quickly, so happy to answer any.
Thanks, Caroline and Emily. Yeah, there aren't any questions right now in the Q&A, but I had one thing that I wanted to mention, where Caroline stressed the importance of getting that UEI number if you don't already have it, because you can apply for government contracts or some of these grants. I did want to make everyone aware that the Southwest Center is going to be having a webinar on March 4th, specifically walking you through the process of getting a UEI. So I can drop a link to sign up for that webinar into the chat. So if it's something that you don't have and you were curious what the process is, you can jump on that webinar and participate that way. How much funding is there going to be this year for the Utah the Food Security Processing Grant? Do we have any idea on that yet?
Yeah, knock on, I don't want to count my grant eggs before they hatch, but we're really optimistic to get somewhere around $7 million, possibly more. So almost double the amount we've received total during the lifetime of this grant. I do want to give people a heads up. Like, one of the things we've loved about the grant previously, when it was state funded by the appropriations from the legislature, we were able to keep that application really short and simple. But since this will be flowing from a federal source, the paperwork is likely to be more extensive. And again, that UEI number, we know that people get heartburn about how complicated grants are, and we want to do what we can to support you along the way. But for those who may have seen this grant previously, it will look a little bit different. We're also not sure what the timeline will be like that. Historically, this grant has opened from May 1st to May 31st. We're hoping for that to be the case too, but just keep an eye out that some of the timelines may be adjusted. And I'm sorry, I know that it's hard. That is the busiest time of year. It's always a busy time of year when you're a farmer or when you're running a food business. So I just want to acknowledge that we recognize that. It's unfortunate the way the funding cycles of the state fiscal year work in contrast with how agricultural seasons work. I wish we could open a lot of these more in that like October to February window when there's time to get more like paperwork ducks in a row. But we're aware if there's a way to change it, like we're definitely keeping eyes out, but unfortunately, there's a lot of bureaucracy in government, to say the least, and we're constrained to certain timelines. I also didn't even scratch the surface of a lot of other programs at the department. There's so many support services that we have available. We have about 4 dozen different conservation outreach coordinators across the state. They work really closely with USDA and RCS. I didn't even talk about our Ag VIP program or soil health. So, there's a lot that we do that people might not be aware of or taking advantage of, and we really want to be a partner in supporting local ag. And if you're having issues at all, whether it's like your own experience with our department or something that you're facing just as a business owner, we want to hear from you. That way we can help, whether it's maybe a policy or legislation, regulatory issues, some of our own processes. Like, we're very open and receptive to feedback, and we want to be a partner with you.
Thank you, Caroline. I know I'm excited about the Utah Pollinator grant. I didn't know that was a thing. I had to jump on the website and look at that while you were talking about some of the others.
Yeah.
I do have to say, in the years that I've been working with food companies, the Utah Department of Ag and Food, their website wasn't always easy to navigate. And they have done such a great job going in and updating these things. I'm excited to see that there's even a new version, a new update. It is so much easier to find all these things. All of these grant programs that Caroline talked about, if you just go to the UDAF website, their main page, you can link straight to the grants from there. So all of these things that she talked about, if you weren't able to find every single link or grab all of those, it's really easy to go on and find those programs with the way the website is now. And that wasn't always the case in the past. So,
Thanks, Karen. And same thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of you. With this website rebrand or relaunch, it's a living thing. And if there's something you're having a hard time finding, there is a little Qualtrics survey that pops up. But if you want to just shoot us an email, that points us in the right direction of where either more information is needed or we need to clarify it or update it. My email is posted right there. It's just my name at utah.gov. Or if you email agriculture@utah.gov, that also goes to my team.
Okay, so we have just a few more minutes if there are any questions or anything that anyone wants to ask while we have Caroline here. I know the next group, there's going to be a producer panel that Caroline is going to facilitate. But we do want to make sure that everybody has a chance to jump on before we start that next presentation. So if there's, as I mentioned, if there's any questions, anything, be sure to remember to do the evaluation for this presentation. That poll should be up and available to you right now. And also I want to remind everyone that at the end of this session today, we will repost that link for you to take the session evaluation survey as well. So you don't have to scroll back through the chat to find that. And that is separate from these individual evaluations. So it looks like, is everyone here for the next part? Okay,